Welcome to my channel, and today we'll be flying the Aerostar 600 for Flight Simulator 2020, and we're just gonna try it out, see how this aircraft flies. We'll just be doing a normal circuit with crosswind factors, and we'll simulate a single engine failure on the right engine and land it. Let's do a stop and go and then take off. This runway is pretty long, but we're just doing the review of this aircraft and just seeing how it flies. But anyways, let's get into it. One thing I also noticed is when you put in the registration, it will give you the flag uh, representing that country or registration that you've entered. I entered this on from the flight sim menu. So when you spawn, it would show you the country that this registration is from, and it shows Germany, which is very interesting. It's a neat trick. I don't know if it's with other aircraft, but with the Aerostar, it just shows you the country flags. You can try it for any other known country and see how that goes, and comment down below if it worked for you. So today with no passengers, not a lot of gas, but just one single pilot. So we'll begin our flight by flying this, by closing the door, sorry. And starting the engine is pretty simple. All you just have to do is just flick some switches and then we get going. So we'll just prime the engines using the mixture, so we'll prime it. And I'll say the sounds on this aircraft is pretty immersive, so no mods needed. It'll be fine. So batteries, and then we'll turn on our nav lights and beacon, and then our fuel pump, and then fuel injector or whatever it is, and then we'll set the trim for takeoff. It says low fuel here because we do not have any fuel in the fuselage, but however it's just cold. We'll set the cabin temperature after we start the engines. So we'll remove the torpedo cover and tie downs. We forgot to do that before starting the aircraft. One thing about A2A simulation aircraft is, let's say I release the park brake and I want to turn it back on, so I cannot just press the parking brake um before the parking brake would engage. I have to hold on the brake, ordinary brakes, and then set the parking brakes. So right now I am pressing the parking brake right now. I'm pressing the parking brake right now, and it's actually not engaging. But when I hold the brakes and set the parking brakes, then it works. This is one interesting thing about A2A aircraft. So prop full forward, and right now the engine is cold, so we'll just crank it up a bit. So we'll start with the right engine, so move the mixtures to the middle thereabout, and then we just start with the right engine. And then we'll just crack it up a bit. There we go. That's engine 2. And then we'll leave it at 1000. Okay, because of how cold it is, we'll just increase it a bit. Yeah, thereabout. And then we'll crack this one as well, and then mixture set, and then start this one as well. And one interesting thing about this specific aircraft is, as she was starting the aircraft and it's spooling up, you have to increase the throttle a little bit until it starts, because yeah, you are just letting the more air go into the engine so that um, there can be fuel and air mixed to get it started. But yes, now we can set the alternators, and then we can get going. So we can release the parking brake and then get going. So we'll just put in some crosswind input as we're going. Another thing too is if the RPM is a bit too low, the engine might sputter and go off. I don't know, it's a bit hard to turn this aircraft. That is what it is, I'll just go on the grass, I don't care. Alright, so we can turn on the landing lights right now. And there they are. And then the strobe lights. Just do one flaps, and then we forgot to turn on our avionics, but yeah, I mean, we will not necessarily need it for this flight. Alright, so the wind is coming from our left, so full crosswind input, and then we just go on the center line and then take off. Alright, full mixture rich. Alright, let's go. I don't know, I think it's because of the snow that is making so much noise. I don't know. Flaps up, gear up. Just do a right hand circuit because of the mountain over there. So I forgot to turn these on, but I mean, we don't necessarily need it, so there it is, we're in the circuit. But this aircraft flies really well. So we just reduce the prop to like here. Engine just trim because we're still climbing. Alright, gear down. One notch of flaps. Turn base. And now we can turn final. Alright, so we just apply crosswind input.
Approaching 3, 6.
crosswind input, power idle. There we go. Alright, flops up. Gear up. So with this next leg, we'll try an engine failure on the right engine and see how the aircraft behaves with the failed engine. Alright, so we'll just fail it around getting to before we turn into our base. Before we make our base turn, then I'll fail the right engine. So I'll see right about here. So right after we land, we'll do a stop and go and restart it. Alright, so first, notch our flaps. And then landing gear. To make sure that our turns are coordinated, or else we could get into a spin. But because we've lost one engine on the right, we'll just land with one notch of flaps.
Approaching 36 right 600 meters available. Approaching 36.
Land on the display threshold, we'll land before the 1,000-foot marker, runway assured, power idle. Alright, so we'll start the other engine. Alright, so we go. You're up. Flaps up. Alright, now we'll try both engines failed and see how the aircraft behaves. Alright, here is enough. So there's the aerodrome. Okay, so we can fill it right at this point. So actually you can see both engines are dead. This one's dead. This one too also dead. And this aircraft should have a good gliding speed or good gliding distance. I do not know the gliding speed for this aircraft, but both engines are dead, and that's the runway over there. We are too high, which is good. How I like it. I'd rather that than being too low. So I'll say we would just turn to the aerodrome right now, so we do not like go too far to a point where it will cause us to land before the runway. We want to land as close to the runway as we can, or on the runway. So just keep our height and distance. So yep, right there is fine. But yeah, for a twin engine, this aircraft glides really well. Probably because of the aspect ratio of the wing. There we go. So yeah, we should be able to make this. So gear can come down. So we'll slip forward, slip into the wind. And we're definitely making the runway from this height. So flaps up, flaps down, sorry. One notch.
Approaching. 3, 6, right. 600 meters. available.
Full flaps. Then come forward, slip into the wind.
Too high, too high. Approaching. 3, 6. Unstable,
Can exit the slip.
unstable.
There we are. Excellent. That is it, ladies and gentlemen.
On runway. 3, 6, 900 meters remaining.
So we'll just turn off the landing lights so that we don't drain the batteries. Then flaps can go up. Then battery can go off. All these can go off. And there we have it. So we just turn on the okay. Well, looks like the flaps won't go up, but anyways, well, this aircraft is a very lovely aircraft. I will use it in my bush trips. More videos on this aircraft coming soon. And yeah, the thing is, I like aircraft with thrust reverse with beta mode. Makes the bush flights interesting, but this one doesn't have beta mode. You just land it, and which would be interesting for short runways. So you just have to apply short field runway techniques. Yeah, overall I do like this aircraft. This Aerostar looks a little bit similar to a jetliner from the empennage. So if you remove the fuselage and just leave the empennage only, it looks like it's a little jetliner, original jet, which is quite interesting. So yeah, more on this aircraft, and also tried out the registration and the flag as I mentioned earlier, and see if that works. So thank you very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and have a nice day.